Good morning, nomads, van life people, sojourners, those that are, maybe you're just going on vacation and taking a trip. Maybe you're a snowbird and you're going down to Arizona, which I wish right now I could. It is cold and rainy here in Washington State. Ugh. Anyway, I am just getting up. It's about 8 a.m. and I look better today, even though I don't have a ton of makeup on, but I have worked yesterday and I was able to get my hair done afterwards at Classy Cuts. That's the name of the place, Classy Cuts. Now this particular Classy Cuts that I go to is in a city out here called, hold on a second, in case you want to write it down, ladies, is a city called Bonnie Lake. Like my Bonnie lies over the ocean, my Bonnie lies over the sea. So Bonnie Lake. And I like Bonnie Lake. It's a nice little town. It's, but it still feels like a city. Somebody's with me here. Why are you growling? There's nothing to growl at. It's been taking out all my window covers. We were able to find a place last night. I'm so glad. I won't be showing you the place because, you know, I don't want you to be like, oh, I know where that is. There's a little private nook here. But we were able to find a place last night in the dark, and I had one place in mind, and I went there. My son called me from California, and he's he had been in security. He now works for Zooks. If anybody knows what Zooks is, I never heard of it, but yeah, they do the cars that self-drive. It is so cool. Anyway, that's where he's working, and he had called me back last night, and I just happened to be driving, and I said I'm trying to find a place to go, and I thought I had a place kind of near my work, you know, and he looked it up on his map. Oh, look, I have one blue glove and one black glove. I did not even realize that. It won't match. Let's not do that. And he said, Mom, it's pretty isolated over there. Are you sure? And I went like, So I sat there for a minute having a snack. I'm looking for the gloves I had down here because it's cold, you guys. There we go. So we looked at it, and he said, I don't think so. And then I said, well, I'll drive over near to where my son is, mother's son, but I didn't want to be in front of I was already in front of their house a couple nights, and I'm like, I don't want to do that either. So I went ahead and, in a general area, and went ahead and found a place. Hey, these gloves are nice. I haven't worn these in a while. And they're nice and warm. They're lined. I don't know what that thing is on it. I don't know. If I knew what it was, I would tell you the name. So they're nice and warm because they're lined. You're supposed to be able to use your phone with them, you know, with your finger, because that's always an issue. At any rate, so we found a nice place, but it was pouring down rain. It stopped for just like maybe 5-10 minutes, and I was able to take Lola here out for a walk, and she did her business, and then I immediately got back in the car, and it started whoosh, and I just came down. It's been doing this all night. It's supposed to do it all day, so this is not going to make driving fun, but it is what it is, right? So it's that time of year in the state of Washington where everything rains and is gloomy till like June. So if you like a lot of rain and you like it to be cold, not cold, but right now it's like 50, but it feels like it's 38. Yeah, if you like it cold. I just, you know, and y'all, I just check my glasses off and don't know where I set them down. Uh-oh. Oh, Nina. Let's look. Right there. I thought I set them down because I'm putting stuff up on the dashboard. I have to put these on the drive. Now, close up, I don't need them, but far away, I do. So, we're going to drive. So, I'll put them on. Oh, surprise. Let me turn the car on. Anyway, it's cold. So, it says connecting to my phone, so we might hear me. I don't know. I don't know how this quite works. But, it's cold. So, we're going to go either over to Target. I noticed they were open early yesterday. Or my work, where my little one over here likes to go for a, if I say it out loud, she's gonna be like, oh, but I gotta figure out how to get out of here. That's okay. You can figure it out with me. I think if I turn around and go back, try to remember the way I came. It was dark, so I'm not sure. It's not too bad. Like, I don't think I can get super lost, but then we're talking about me, so I don't know. Yeah, so today is go to storage day, come back out this way to work, and work in my room, because my little classroom, I want to make it look cute. And I have some stuff from the house that I always thought I wanted to put in there. I just didn't do it yet. So I'm just kind of adjusting the pad I have behind my back. A nice big bushy pad. But yeah, no, nobody was up last night when I arrived here, which is what you want to do if you're trying to be stealthy, like you don't want to be when everybody's going in and out of their house. And you're like, hi, I'm just going to park here, and I have a big van. You know, I have a white van, which is good because there was a white van down the street. As a matter of fact, it's still there, parked. So, you know, really, you kind of blend in that way. However, you don't want to make it a habit in the same place. So, I may come in this general area tonight, probably not the exact same parking spot. I did listen to Minivan Lee because there's a tall fence here by this house, and there are trees there, so it's not like they can look out their window and be like, oh, who's out there, you know. Besides, nobody was up, so I don't think they noticed. Anyway, morning yawn. I'm gonna get something to eat this morning, and I am going to, well, look all ways before you cross the street, because this is like a T street. This is no outlet from that side. But you never know who's going to try to get out of this area, right? And they could come down and go whoosh and bang, and I don't want that. Actually, what's up this way? I'm being nosy. So let me just go for a drive, and we'll talk while we're driving. How's that? What do you see? There's nothing to see. Hush. No. Shush. See, there's 179th. There's not a soul parked on that street. So see, I want to go on a street where there's nothing parked. Oh, this is an interesting area here. Oh. I'm noticing a little park for kids, RVs. So you want to kind of check out, there's no signs anywhere about no parking. This is one of those areas, there's no signs. But I don't want to be directly in front of somebody's house, because, you know, you are there and then they look out their window and they see this van. Well, who's that? You know, and you're trying to avoid that problem. This should take me right straight out, I think. Is this going to do it? Let me see. Hallelujah. It took me right straight out. Oh, she's going to start barking. I think that's a llama or an alpaca. What are you? Oh, so cute. It's a baby. She doesn't think it's cute. Lola, all gone. Okay. You scared him away. Stop. Hey! Ferocious. You see the sun in the background trying to come up. Lola, all gone. It's okay. Oh, there's where this court is, yeah. Okay. I'm going to go around the block for a reason. Let's check something out. I went down this one street last night, and it was loaded with cars, trucks, and cars. I thought about this street that I'm heading down right now, just because I've been down here before. Now everybody's gone. But last night it was one vehicle after the other, and it was insane. And I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to... It's not that bad. Not that bad. Okay, cool. So, there's a house for sale. Anybody got $1 million? Washington State, 600,000 and up. Woohoo! They're very expensive here. Living in Washington State, by the way, is like living in Cali, like in the Bay Area. Not necessarily for behavior of people, unless you go to Seattle or Tacoma, which don't go to Seattle or Tacoma. If you come to visit, go during the day and go with a bunch of people. Do not go to the Olympic National Forest, I just found out. If you are like at night, there's been incidents apparently over there. My son, Mr. Security, looked that up too, and he was like, yeah, there's people in their tents and things that happen. So Washington State is a beautiful state. It's absolutely stunning. Trees everywhere, evergreen trees, silver birch trees. I know, because I was making the walking sticks from them. By the way, if you want one, I'll make one for you. I'll charge you, of course, but I will make it, and they come out gorgeous. But at any rate, I'll just check it out. Doing my due diligence during the day. See, now this street is too congested, so I wouldn't. There is a fence here, though. Another big fence. You don't want to park too close to the corner either. I see some people right up to the corner. And if I remember right from my driving lessons, you're not supposed to do that. Aren't you supposed to be so many feet away from the corner? So if somebody rounds the corner, like your car is not right there, your vehicle is not right there. There's a lot of RVs down here. There's a lot of people will put their, oh, here's a squirrel. Oh, Lord Jesus, please don't let her see the squirrel. Thank you, Lord. But it is Sunday morning, so it's going to be a little bit quieter. And it's just rain. And so that's what's going on. This is our third day, our third night. Now it's going to be our fourth day, but third night. Because I was out Wednesday. So Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Yeah, so 4 nights of stealthing. So far, not so bad, you guys. Was I scared? You bet. So it's because you don't know yet what to do, because I'm a newbie, and being a newbie, that's a good street. There's a lot of, there's 3 white vans in a row. They fit right in. Except when all the guys would come out for their vehicles, they'd be like, who's that? We got a new guy on the team? I always come in when it's dark. On the street that I'm traveling down right now, speed limit is 25 miles an hour. And when it's dark, there's no lights. You're like going in a black tunnel. So, which is okay, but you gotta take your time anyway, and it curves. So you're like, oh geez. But I will say that it's been peaceful. I've not had any problems. I think possibly parking near my job, which is what they told me I could do it. But and the police station is right behind. But then are you asking for trouble? It's like, yeah, in a way, because they go in and out of there when they change shifts, and here's this big white van. And I was pulling out yesterday after I changed my mind, after talking to my son, and then it was like the cop came in because they were probably changing their shifts, or he was probably coming back from his, and he just looked over at me like, who are you? And somebody's staring at me. Of course, I forgot to turn my lights on, so that might have something to do with it. Here's this white van, no lights. I did turn my lights on. I realized I didn't have them on. But nonetheless, you don't want to, draw attention to yourself when there's, a police officer there and you wonder why you're coming out that parking lot. There is an apartment complex right around that area, and I was thinking, but there's no visitor parking because they don't even have enough parking for the people that live there. So I think they do park across the street, but not as far up in the lot as I was. So I'm like, question mark. Like, I don't know that I want to. I like this area, this particular area. Quiet, people are decent, nice families around. But again, you don't want to look like, okay, the big white van, like, here, kid, I got some candy for you. You want to come to my van? You don't want to look like that. So, you don't want anybody to think that. Because, in today's society, right? This is the trail I love to walk up here, but it's coming down like it's raining cats and dogs, and I already have a dog, so I don't need another one. So, yeah, I love a parade. I'm in the parade. I lead the parade today. Woo-hoo. Because I'm doing the speed limit. And, people coming down here don't want to do speed limit. They're like, why aren't we going 30, 35? Because the sign says 25. And I'll always go like a couple miles under so that if I start to go a little faster, I'm not going over. But anyway, it's been a peaceful night. I can honestly tell you guys, I've been eating out a lot right now. I have not started cooking in here, which is my goal. Oh yes, my Jackery 500 went dead. Totally dead. It said I looked up how to reboot it, how to reset it. Nothing. I don't know, did it fall? I think it fell once, so did it fall? It worked after that though, but I don't know. So it was like, it's totally, there's no light come on, no display come on, push the button. It said hold the button so many seconds with another button, and you're supposed to be able to reset it, blah, 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 blah. And I did all the blah, 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 blah parts, and it didn't work. So, yeah, so I had to buy another one. It was on sale. It was a Jackery 1000 that I bought. So now I'll have two 1000s, which I would prefer instead of a 500 and a 1000, because you can do a little bit more. So I already purchased it. I purchased it from Lowe's, and it's supposed to go to the house that the domicile, which is my son's house. So I'm going to do that. I'll just pick it up from there, because it's a pretty big thing, right? It weighs 23 pounds, if you're wondering, and yes, I can carry it with one hand, so, but it's still, lifting it up, like, onto things, you need two hands, so, yeah. Come down here now. So now I'm in an area where it's a little bit more populated, of course, and it's not residential, and I want to go in. Is it open? Is it open? Is it open? Yes, it did. What time does Target open, y'all? I always see like 9,850 cars here. So it's like, they must open really early, and because people are here. I don't know if it's, at first I thought maybe it was just the workers, but you can't have that many workers. Well, you could. I used to work for Target, but those aren't workers. Those are, matter of fact, those are kids. Nope, there's a husband and wife going over to here to Target. I got a breakfast sandwich yesterday morning from Starbucks, and a coffee and a juice, and it was wonderful. And I took it to my job and ate in the parking lot. It was wonderful. And I like it over here because if I go way in the back here, nobody bothers me. And I can walk somebody over here. She's going to bark at everything because everything's blowing. The wind. There's a couple birds out here. Oh, somebody gave them. Oh, there's little dishes for them. I'm not going to park right there because I know she'll try to eat them. So let me go a different way. I'll go this way. I don't want to go over there because then there's no, but too many people. as a dog, so I don't want to be by too many people. I want her just to be able to run up and down and go potty, which we'll do in a minute. But yeah, so it's been interesting and chilly and rainy, but stealth, you can easily stealth if you use your head. So when nobody's around and it's dark, go in. When it hits morning, don't be laying in bed till 10 o'clock, like maybe you would in a stick and brick. Oh, I think I'll get up at 10 or 11. I'll just lay here. No, you can't do that. So for me, when it got to be 7:45, even though I was going to sleep till 8:15, I got up and I threw my clothes on and sweatpants and, my usual. And I said, I'm getting out of here, because you don't want anybody to figure out, right, what you're doing. So it's not going to be hard if you use your head. Is it scary? It's always going to be a little scary, because it's the unknown, right? We don't quite know. So if you're starting out and doing this, you're gonna be a little on edge. But like I said, the first place I went, son looked at it on the map. We happened to be talking at the time, and he said, you're so isolated, I don't know. And that's the way I felt inside. So when you feel that, that little feeling, Lola, I'm going to take you out in a minute. What are you doing? Hey, you're going to go for a walk soon, huh? Yeah. You getting ready? Yeah. So I won't be on here too much longer, because I really want to take her for a walk. But he was helpful in that regard, and I felt the same way. So I think I made a wise decision. And the neighborhood I was in was super quiet. I went and got something to eat the other night, Friday night. And it was insane. Cars everywhere. People everywhere. Then there were people doing something naughty. I don't know what they were doing, but they were in front of my van where it was parked. And they didn't know I was in here. So, I gotta tell you the story. So whatever naughtiness they were doing in front of my van, it had nothing to do with my van. They were just doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. So, and I noticed, and they were loud about it too, like they didn't care. And I'm like, oh, well, you're gonna care now. So I went from the back to the front, sat down in my seat, started the van, which they all jumped, and then I turned the lights on, and it was like cockroaches, and everybody went away. Well, maybe if you behave yourself, you wouldn't feel that way. Anyway, so they all scattered. So many to one car that one way, and so many to the other car the other way, and then they took off. And I'm like, good. Well, so maybe I saved a business that they were in front of. I don't know, or maybe they were just being silly and were embarrassed. I don't know. But the bottom line is, you're in front of my van, and don't mess with me. Okay? So, don't mess with my van, or my family, or my dog. That does not go well for you. So at any rate, that's what happened. So I was kind of happy that I made them scatter, because if they were up to no good, I don't think they were real bad, and that's why I wasn't like scared. I mean, if they looked like they were, then I probably wouldn't have done that. But I just felt that it was time to get out of there, and I had overstayed my welcome there anyway, because I had heard other stuff going on over there. So I went, let me get out of here now. So that's why we went. So, and everybody was okay. So you can do this. If I can do this, you guys can do this. I will later on, maybe today, hopefully, give you, or if not today, tomorrow for sure, but I do want to give you a little mini tour of the van. I invited somebody in to come see it, and she had always seen it only on video and had never seen it in person. And she said it's so different in person. Well, it is, because, you actually can feel it, When you watch us on here, you get an idea, yeah, but you don't actually get to walk in, sit, or stand in the middle of it and actually like touch things, like, oh, there's the bed, oh, there's, it does get crowded. Don't bring too much stuff. I found out I brought a little too much stuff. But my sweaters are in cubbies in the backpack, like I have to put up the back doors. So I will do that when I'm not stealth, right? So I'll just keep my sweatshirt and a general couple shirts up front, pop them on, put my jacket on, and then go back there. But when I'm not in front of somebody's house on the street. So if you're changing clothes in the morning, don't get out of your van or vehicle, whatever rig you have, and go in the back and start, oh, let me see, what am I going to wear for the day? It's not like you have a closet at home, like where you can stand in the closet and go, what should I wear? Because us girls do that all the time. I have nothing to wear, which you do, right? So, but don't do that. Like, go where there's nobody going to bother you. Like this huge Target parking lot. And people actually do sleep here on the other side, but it's only for a couple hours. Like, you're not supposed to stay overnight. But they will let travelers, during the day, take a rest for a couple hours because we're on a main thoroughfare. So that's fine. But like I said, you want to be as private and quiet and incognito as possible. So that I've learned. And you put up your stuff in the windows. You're going to have to learn how to be quick about it, because if you're over there, I can't get this to stay in the window. You're opening the door, and you're like, if you're decorating for Halloween or Christmas or something, somebody's going to see you, right? So I keep my door shut and I stick my stuff up from inside. And if there's a really terrific issue, which I think last night I had one with this one window on my driver's side, it was driving me nuts. It just wasn't going to start. So I said, okay. So I opened it enough to feel where to put the stuff, and I immediately closed it. And so it was not a big bang, Front window, quickly. My window is huge. If you have a van, like a cargo van like this, your window's going to be huge. So you got to get that in there as quick as possible. Pull your visor, get your visors out of the way and do it. Other side, passenger side, was easy. At my passenger side, it tends to want to stay right away. So I don't have to readjust. But sometimes my driver's side I do, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's got magnets in it, so it sticks to the metal. And it does work. It does work. I told you in another video about these window covers. And they are padded. There's something inside of them. They're much thicker than your regular ones. Yes, they're expensive, but they're worth it. I wish I had it for the front window, because if I did, I think it would even hold a little more heat in. But it is what it is, and it's working. So try to use as much as you can what you have. My build out was cubbies and the slats from my bed. And I put it as far apart as I wanted. I took the slats and ran them across, stuck them down with the Velcro, which reminds me I need to get more Velcro, and call it a day. Don't be messing around, like with, what kind of bed do I want? You need a bed. Figure out how big, right? And do it. So draw it on paper first, if that helps you. Try to get an idea. I know Arslan did his on from Solar Camper Car. He did his on an app where he could design and redesign. I'm old school, y'all, so I draw everything, right? So I'm the lady with the pen and the pencil and the paper. It works better for me that way. So, but then I'm going to be 66, so it's going to work better for me. So if you're a young person and you're used to apps and doing such, then do it. I mean, whatever works for you. IKEA does have some cheap, great things. IKEA, though, doesn't last. So if you're getting furniture from IKEA, in about a year or two, it's probably going to fall apart. So if you're doing this long term, which I'm going to be, you want something a little sturdier. So the cubbies are the cubbies like I buy at Target or Walmart that you screw together and do the whole thing. And I had them already for the stick and brick, so I used them. They're working out beautifully. They're sturdy. If I had a smaller one in the middle, I would have put that in the middle, knowing what I know now. And it would have saved me from putting all these different poles underneath to just hold up the slats in the middle. I don't sleep in the middle of the bed, I am 5'1", so I'm not a real heavy person. I'm not like 250 or 200 pounds or 300 pounds. So it's not going to break it or bow it, but I didn't want to take that chance either. So I put the little poles underneath and screwed them in, you know, wooden ones. So, but that was a way to hold the slats up. And now it gives me a basement because the cubby's on the other side and the back, I can slide stuff in, like the walking sticks, for example, because the one square cubby doesn't have a backing to it. So that becomes my basement. I can slide stuff in. And I'm small enough that my shoulders and my head will kind of be able to reach in so I can get stuff. So it's my mini basement, plus my garage back there. So it's doable. It's doable. You can do it. All right, y'all, I'm going to get off of here. Hopefully, maybe some of those tips help, like when you're being stealthy. Don't be afraid. We're all going to be nervous at first, and that's normal. So if you're like, why am I so scared? Well, because you're normal, and you don't want to break any rules. I get it. I'm the same way. So we're all doing the best we can. Certainly don't leave any trash around, and find a garbage can. If I drive over to Walmart on the other side of this plaza, I am going to find garbage cans. Last night, I ate at Habit Burger, and Habit Burger is okay, by the way, but I don't like the burgers too much. Dairy Queen burger is better, to be honest with you. But the french fries are, they're yummy. And then I got a cookie crumble. I know Minivan Lee says, get off the sugar. I'm working on that. I'm not there yet. But I hadn't had cookie crumble in so long, I went and got myself 2 cookie crumbles. And I ate like a half of one, and then I left the other half and the big one. So I'm gonna have more today. Oh, she went back to sleep. She just curled up, went back to sleep. She's been sleeping a lot. I tried to pick her up last night to take her in the back, you know, by the bed, and she didn't want to go. She growled at me. So I'm like, maybe her tummy was upset. Maybe she didn't feel good. So we're gonna see what's up with that. I'm gonna give her some water, and kind of was like lean on the water yesterday because I kind of forgot. She did have some, but I could have done better. I'm going to give her some doggy food this morning, and I'm going to go over to PetSmart, get some more doggy treats that are healthier treats. Huh. We don't want no junk food today. We want good stuff today. Yeah. Dog is Human is a company, by the way, that has probiotics that I give her. It's helped with allergies, skin issues, everything. So Dog is Human is the name of the company. There's another one called Pet Lab Co. Pet Lab Co. for company. It's not a bad company, but the stuff that she takes doesn't work for her. The probiotics there does not work for her. So, and I tried it for a while to see. Nothing changed. So I didn't see a big change at all. So I tried this Dog is Human. It's like $43 for a small jar. You'll have it for a little over a month. Then, I'm on subscription for it, and then they'll just keep sending. So I just sent my address to them, my new one, so that I would, be able to get it. So if you have a dog and you are having those issues, I found Dog is Human to be wonderful. Every time I send them a message, they answer right away. I don't have to wait like days and days and days to get a message, so. They're a good company to work with. I like them. So I'm just plugging them, called Dog is Human, and I like it. So I'm going to stick with them. So in Pet Lab, I dropped a subscription from them because it just didn't. It seemed to make her tummy more upset. So for her, it didn't work. Now, it doesn't mean for you it won't, and I'm not trying to put the company down, but Dog is Human is my favorite. So that's where we're going with that. Do I see gray hairs, y'all? I think I do a little bit, don't I? Had my hair done. I had it trimmed, so it's not all the way down to my butt anymore. And the lady said, oh, you have some grays. And I was like, yeah, I do. When I was talking about highlights, and I wanted red highlights. And she said, no, you better have to do blonde. I'm like, again? Because that's all I ever get is blonde. And I'm like, oh. But the red is harder to take care of, so that's why. And I'm like, okay, all right. Oh, okay, then. All right. I said, I have to put gray highlights. And she's like, no. Anyway, so that's what happened with my hair yesterday. Anyway, So I'm going to get off of here. Now listen, y'all. I'll put this out there. It's me and the dog and Jesus. I'm going to stress that again. Let's say it the other way. Jesus, me, and the dog. Jesus has to be first, front and center. I keep telling you that. This is where some of you might want to turn this off if you're not into, that. If you get really angry at me, I'm sorry. This is the truth. I'm going to speak the truth. Jesus is the truth. He's the way, the truth, and life. With him, you're still going to make mistakes. You are not going to be perfect, but I tell you what, you can go to him 24/7. His line is never busy. It's not like you're going to call somebody and get a busy signal or leave a message at the tone. He's always going to hear you. He will answer your prayer. It may be yes, it may be no, or it might be wait. You'll know if you get to know him. So, strong advice. Ask Jesus to come into your life and heart. Ask him. You're going to invite him in. He's not going to come pounding on your door to get into your life. But as things go and you find that you need help, you better ask the one who can help you. Because there are things that us humans cannot do. If you want, let's say, a family, if you want children, if you want whatever, you can tell me, what do you want me to do? I can't help you. You can go to a counselor. There is just so much that you're going to be able to do with your counselor. And then what? And then what are you going to do? And then you're going to get depressed, or you're going to take some goofy medicine. And then what? This is no medicine involved. This is, I'm going to talk to Jesus. There's no atheist in a foxhole, they say. Because when things get awful, who do people usually say, oh God, please help me? Well, he's not exactly, he might, but there's times you're going to say, oh God, I need a better paycheck, or I want a better job. And he's not Santa Claus, so you just don't go willy-nilly and then after you get it, go, okay, thanks, bye. That's not how that works. Jesus died on the cross. He hung there for a while. They beat him to the point where he was not recognizable as a human at all. Hence, when Pilate brought him out, he said, look at the man. Because he didn't look like a man. Remember, crown of thorn on his head, pulled the hair from the beard out, slapped him across the face many times, scourged his back to the point where the flesh was actually ripped off the back. We don't see that in movies. They kind of don't want to show all that. Passion of the Christ showed more than any movie I've ever seen. But they used bone and glass in there, so it literally would tear away at the flesh. So a lot of times people died passed away right at the scourging, because it was so horrific, right? So these are things that he did for us, so that it was a blood sacrifice, if you will. He sacrificed himself. Didn't have to do an animal ritual. Didn't have to say mumbo-jumbo words. He kept his mouth shut and put up with the pain. Horrific pain. I mean, what it's like if you skin your knee when you were a kid, or like if you get a little skin off, it burns. Well, can you imagine that being other parts all over? Yeah. Loss of blood. I mean, if you really study what the doctors have studied and talked about with this, most of them don't even get through it. And after all of that, there was a huge beam that he had to carry, the cross, right? I think you usually carry the beam. I don't know if he carried the whole cross, but anyway, every picture shows he carried a cross, so it may have been. And you got to carry that. After all that, where would you have the strength from? You'd be in shock, blood loss. How would you? But he did. and then laid down on it to be pierced and nailed. How in the world would anybody offer themselves something like that? But he did. Now the good news is 3 days later, he rose from the dead. There are eyewitnesses to that. There are records of that. People had seen him. There were things that he did after that. They were recorded after that. It's a historical fact, not just a made-up story. So he rose from the dead because people seen him. And then, of course, he went back to heaven. However, died on the cross, rose from the dead. I always tell you, he could have stayed up in bougie old heaven up there. He could have been like sitting on the throne and, you know, and everything. And totally in charge. But he actually came here for us. If he could do that for us, the least we could do is say, hey, Jesus, I'd like you in my life and my heart. I want to invite you in. I know you died on the cross and rose from the dead. Go read the book of John. Go read Matthew. There's 4 Gospels. You have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Most people say start with John. Yes, go ahead. If you want more, you got Matthew, Mark, and Luke. You got more to back it up. If you want to know what was going to happen, well, Daniel predicted a lot ahead of time. Isaiah definitely predicted a lot about what was going to happen. And then it was fulfilled. So the New Testament fulfills what the Old Testament said. So with all of that together, that combination, there's enough facts and proof there. So that you actually know, look, this is not a made-up story. So, and if you don't believe me, I suggest you get a Bible and sit your little tushy-wishy down and start reading. And there's enough AI and there's enough, I won't say her name like on my phone, to ask where is a Bible verse that talks about blah, blah, blah. And it pops up and you can read it and then you can look it up in the Bible. So there's enough there to prove. So, well, the way our world is so crazy, don't you want a little extra help? Don't you want a little extra protection? Is it going to hurt to call on him? No. Is it going to hurt him in your life? No. Give it a shot. See what it's like. I mean, the least thing, you can try. But like the commercial used to say, try it, you'll like it. You will. You'll like him. And you'll fall in love with the Savior who is watching over you all the time. Have him with you. And love one another as the Lord has loved you. Help one another. If you see a need, fill that need. Put yourself out there to help people a little bit. There might be somebody, we just ran into somebody in a restaurant, waitress. My friend just happened to call her over to the table and she said, hey, you're just glowing. She told her how pretty she was. The girl almost started crying. She said, thank you, I was feeling really ugly. You know, she said, I'm pregnant, I just don't feel, you know, sometimes you don't, your hormones are off too. But that girl was so grateful. And then both of us started to talk to her more, and I talked to her about the Lord, and it opened a door. So you see what I mean? You never know. And that was a beautiful moment. So you could have those beautiful moments to help people. Just don't forget it. Jesus will guide you. He'll put the people you're supposed to talk to in your face. I have it happen all the time. No kidding. So, aloha nui loa. Love you much. Mahalo nui loa. Thank you so much for listening. And hit the subscribe. Hit the little thumbs up. Check me out more. Come back. And come see the next video. Because I'm going to take you through this van more piece by piece. I won't do it in a public area. I'll wait till I get to the storage unit because it's quiet there. And I don't need nosy people going, what's she doing? Who's she talking to? Oh, what she got? You know, again, stealth, and more stealth. Okay? Look, God's got your back. He's got mine. Literally. Both physically, both emotionally and mentally. I was diagnosed with osteoporosis in the spine. There's no cure for that. I can make it better, but there's no cure for it. So, if things go wrong with my back, I won't be able to do this. He's got to have my back. Literally. And He will. And I trust in God, my Savior. With that said, love you all. I will see you in the next video. And we will have a grand tour. I preached a little bit long today, but I think it's important that you really get to know Jesus. The world is in such a turmoil. Why not have somebody on your side? All right, I'm going to go take Missy Ma'am over here. She's so sad. She keeps putting her head over the bed like, So I'm going to go take her for walkies. You ready to go for walkies? You want to chase the birds away? Yeah. Whoopsie, don't fall down. All right. Listen, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Aloha.